Hello and welcome to Walker Tea Review. We are enjoying teas while trapped on an island, battling forces of good and evil, time travel, and no, none of those things. We're just tasting tea and enjoying them. We're enjoying them with friends, we're enjoying them online. There are people all over the globe here are contributing and commenting and sending me emails once in a while to say, hey, can you taste this tea? Can you schedule it? Thanks for sharing this tea, or you really helped me make a purchase decision. So be sure to drop me a line if you like. I answer questions. I'm happy to hear from you. We have an Alishan tea today, which is a Taiwanese tea. It is a oolong. And we're going to go ahead and get this one started. We've got our gaiwan here. Gaiwan meaning lidded bowl, and so here's our lid. Here's our bowl. The beauty of the gaiwan was, and still is, that one, it provides you a nice shape so that your heat doesn't get trapped in and just overcook your tea as it's steeping. It allows the heat, it can rise up if you leave the lid off. It allows you to create a watertight seal so that you can actually pour a little bit of water above the lid line, and that prevents the air from coming in and changing the color or affecting the taste of the tea as it's steeping or afterwards. It also allowed you, because it had a saucer, you caught any runoff. It could be used for one person who just wanted to simply push the leaves aside with the lid, create a kind of strainer between the lid and the bowl here, and drink this way. You were allowed to open up with one hand, smell and look at the leaves as well. Just an overall very useful type of system. So we're going to be getting out our regular basic teaspoon. We've got about a spoonful here of oolong leaves here. I'm going to add just a pinch more. Our water's been brought to an early boil, and then it's been brought off for probably 40 seconds now, but we're going to pour that right in. We're getting enough there so that, yes, when we place the lid on, a little bit of water will sit above the rim of the lid. Just like so. That looks good. Delicately, carefully sliding my gaiwan over so that that water on the rim doesn't spill off. That looks good. It looks like it's leaning a little bit, so I'm just going to move it just a little bit on my mat here, my place mat. There we go. Let that sit for a moment or two as we talk about this leaf and this company. This is from Norbu Tea out of Dallas, Texas, I believe. Their 2009 Summer AliShanHighMtnBeauty. You do not always hear Alishan and Beauty together. And what's happening here is you do have a tea called Oriental Beauty from Taiwan, and it's associated with those summer teas that the leaf hopper, it's a kind of insect that will actually attack, because it's the plant, or the insect has matured in the summertime. It is attacking the leaves, actually injuring the leaves slightly in that attack, and that stimulates the defense systems of the tea leaf, of the tea plant. It sends out some fragrances and aromas which allow the tea to create a unique or do some kind of natural oxidation of the tea leaf. Interestingly enough, those aromas are also detected by spiders and other insects, possibly even birds, who then know, this tea plant has been attacked by this leaf hopper. That means the leaf hopper is present, so now I have a meal source via the leaf hopper. So not all Alishans go through this leaf hopper process, this harvesting the leaves that have been bitten by the leaf hopper. So that's what's unique about it. We also know from the website this is what kind of tea plant was used, or this was harvested from, rather. The Qingxing varietal. Qingxing translates basically to green heart. You will also find, because this is a unique tea, there are special steeping instructions. And just to kind of lay it out right here and now, sometimes I'll get companies who come back to me and as they see the video and they say, you didn't steep it the way we told you to steep it. And my answer is no. One, you can find that information on my About page, that I don't always follow the directions. I look at those as guidelines, that really there's a relationship between you and your tea that you develop so that you can bring out what you enjoy and what you appreciate most about a tea. Secondly, when you go to taste a tea, you want to put it through its full test. You want to find out what its strengths are, what its weaknesses are. You don't necessarily always want to follow these guidelines, because those are designed to bring out only the good qualities and not necessarily, and to mask some of the weaker aspects of a tea. And we're here to find out everything about a tea, or as much as we can about a tea. 50 grams, by the way, a package of 50 grams, rather, is retailing for $9.56. You might be able, depending on the amount of tea, the quantities, how much they still have in stock, you might be able to find a discount of this tea at below that $9.56 price. But let's kind of go on there and talk about this dry leaf for a moment. Again, just like yesterday's, I'm getting a lot of lighter aromas coming off of this. So I'm going to have to put this in my hand and put it through my little hand sauna here. It should be a good amount right there. So what you're doing is, and this can be done whenever you're examining the tea, you can just put it in your hand, cup your hands over, and exhale some warm air. I'm getting some bready, biscuity type. My mouth started watering. It's almost this fluffy buttermilk biscuit type smell coming off of here. So it does have very pleasing, appealing notes in that. And I would say that's the dominant. It's not like a floral element like you get with some of a very lightly roasted type of Alishan. I would say in appearance, as far as colors go, you are getting a deeper blue-green. I'm seeing colors, and even some of those aromas I'm finding similar to what I've found in some of your Dongding oolong types. Okay. So yes, but they are crinkled into balls. It looks like there's leaf pairs, two leaf and a bud type situations here, but we won't be sure until we open it up and look at the wet leaf. Again, deeper, richer blue-green type of colors here. And yes, that is that. Glossy, they do have a little bit of sheen to them, which indicates there's going to be some, its natural oils are still present. Let's see, and have remained since last year. This is an 09 tea, summer it says, and this is May of 2010, so it's coming up on a year since this tea was processed or harvested, I should say. Okay, so now we've got our pitcher here that we're going to be using. We're going to get ready to pour now. Angling our lid over to the side a little bit. Those have loosened up and opened quite nicely. So we got creating a nice opening here between the lid and the cup. index, middle finger and thumb on the rims to hold it with our, and then holding the lid with our index finger. And there we are, a nice smooth pour, as you'll see here. Nice golden color there. Okay, well, let's talk about this. Tea for just a moment. This wet leaf now. Again, pleasant aromas, warm, almost earthy, almost woodsy, I should say, rather. Smells of like, I associate with something like an English laurel, a flowering shrub there. So it's got a bit of a woody note to it. It's got a very light floral note to it. Something underneath there, something that is almost orange peel underneath. So you got English laurel. You chop off a few of the flowering English laurel on the shrub. Toss that with a few pieces of dried olive peel, orange peel. So nice aroma notes. Let's talk about this shaping of this leaf. One, as we said, we do have leaf pairs or leaf sets here. Actually, this one we've got 3 leaves. This leaf does have patches on it, in particular, that are reddish rust color. So that suggests that yes, this leaf had actually been attacked or bitten, irritated by a leafhopper, and so those places that were attacked turned red. What else do we have here? Some larger leaf pieces here. That one's actually just kind of hanging together by a thread there, so I'm not going to pull on that one too much. You note that all these leaves have opened up quite a bit. None of them are really still. Here's one that's partially still crinkled up, which hasn't fully unfurled yet. So again, large sets here. 3 leaf again, and a bud. So see if I can fit that onto my lid so that we can get that into the photo. Okay, so that's that. And what else? Leaves. Not a lot of elasticity in these leaves. They are mature, but mature, larger type summer leaves, but still kind of. Okay, here's one that's got some elasticity to it, but not the best example that I've seen. All right, let's move on then. Let's pour this and talk about the liquor itself here. Nice golden, almost honey color to that. Still those same kind of English laurel, a nice woodsy type flower, light flower, faint, more on a sweet wood type note. Okay. Talk about this taste now. The aromas, they're gentle. I mean, it's not like someone is shoving a bouquet of flowers up your nose, so that's a positive note. Body, light. I'm getting an astringent. It does dry out the mouth fairly quickly, fairly suddenly. It's fairly immediate. I mean. So you've got the 2 prominent qualities. You've got a kind of a woodsy, light floral. I mean, we're talking about tree blossom here, so that it's fairly mild in its floral aspect. Still sweet, still kind of sweet wood. Combine that with a body that's fairly light. You know, as it cools, the body does tend to feel a little bit thicker, so it's moving over towards a little bit of a chicken broth type brothiness to it, that kind of thickness to it. That's positive as it cools off. So what I'm noticing here is that as it cools, that balance between astringency, aroma, and broth become more level, become smoother. So that's, I would say, let this one cool for a few seconds. Let it become closer to room temperature even. Aftertaste carries on that woody sweetness in it, that, like we said, English laurel type sweetness in the flower element there. Still fairly sustained as well. I'm still feeling that. And as far as the feel of the aftertaste, I'm getting a little bit of kind of a stickiness feel in the back of the mouth. But then, if anything else, it would be towards the front, a little bit towards the, not the front / middle of the tongue. It's starting to have a little bit of a puffy feel to it, as if it's been stimulated, as if it's almost like your taste buds are at the middle of your tongue, a band across the middle of your tongue, are reaching out, trying to grasp for more of this taste. So that's a very positive, rewarding, and distinctive aspect of this tea. Looking at this tea as a whole, like we said, there aren't a lot of teas out there being promoted in this way, called a high mountain or Alishan / Oriental Beauty combo. As far as something similar to like a Dongding, which we said had some similar elements of its profile, this one has an aroma that carries on. It's very sustained in its aftertaste. The body, as we said, builds up more, becomes smoother, and more balanced with the astringency and other aspects of the tea as this cools off a little bit. Notes, there were special notes about the steeping of this tea on the website, saying you don't want to oversteep as far as temperature, because then it becomes too astringent. And my experience and my notes here are showing as your teacup cools, that astringency tends to balance off a little bit more. Not something that I felt was off-putting in astringency. Higher astringency as it was warmer, yes. So when looking at this tea as a whole, I'm going to give this tea a 91 because it does carry quite a bit of potential. It has a rewarding, sustained aftertaste. That's one of the key elements, with that nice, balanced, not overpowering aroma and flavor profile. So give this one a try. Definitely worth considering if you are a oolong, Dongding type drinker. So, and if you're not, this could be an interesting introduction. Come back to Walker Tea Review. Next time we'll be looking at a black tea. It is a Lapsang Souchong. If that's new to you, come back and learn a little bit about this kind of tea here at Walker Tea Review.